For more than 2 decades, George Kallay has been committed to athlete development as a player, parent, referee, volunteer, and executive member.
I think that the attraction for George into hockey was certainly the camaraderie of it and the teamwork and working with people.
The developing players was a passion for me.
He always believed in the kids and trying to make it better for them, or the officials and the coaches. He really believed that we could do so much more as Hockey Alberta to create an environment where they would grow and develop. He really brought a passionate approach to that and a hard work ethic. And much of our program, the way it's designed today, and our developmental processes in terms of setting the stage for those athletes, came from George.
George's foray into hockey development began when he took the role of Director of Operations for the Alberta Cup, where his influence can still be felt today.
And he really helped us to build the framework and the operations manual that is still used today with our Director of Operations for each of those zone camps. So George is one of the early pioneers in helping us to build how we do it well at his own level, and it really came from him, his passion, and his involvement of his son initially in our program.
He was passionate about the development of the game just because our boys were playing hockey, and he could see areas that weren't fitting right for him in the fairness of it.
George continued to devote himself to developing the game through his many roles over the years with various organizations, earning many recognitions and praise from his peers.
The culmination of the great work that we did over the years probably came in the 1999 Canada Winter Games in Corner Brook, Newfoundland, where we had a great team and great coaches, and George was a big part of kind of holding together that team and the coaching staff through some challenging times in a short-term competition. And the result of that was an overtime victory in the final against Team Quebec for the gold medal. And George played a huge role in that.
I'd hear some interesting stories about what he had to deal with and how he had to make those decisions, and I always admired him for that, because it would be something that I would try and ignore and hope they'd go away, but he dealt headlong with them and came home pleased with the hockey camp or the trip that he'd just been on.
Dealing with the parents and dealing with the kids, I enjoyed the most.
As one of the builders of Hockey Alberta's development programs, George strived to ensure that all players, coaches, and officials in Alberta received the best possible programs and support to develop themselves.
When you think of builders, I think the thing that comes to mind is longevity and time and consistency in terms of the time and energy they put into trying to make things better, whether it be from an administration point of view or a coaching or a player development point of view. And George, defines that. He was in it for over 30 years and did so much for us in many different fronts, not just one area, but later on became a big player in our operational side of Hockey Alberta as well. And I think that longevity, that consistency, that always there to help and always there to push the envelope to make things better is what defines a builder, and that really is George.
To see him recognized as builder of the game was certainly recognition of the work he's done, but it was never for himself. It wasn't. He didn't come back and brag about what it was. It was to see a good camp run where every hockey player was treated fairly, or some new ideas that he was encouraging groups to take part in. And so it's pretty cool. I think it's great for him, but he certainly did it for the love of the game and for the kids that were involved, and to help stretch the parents and to deal with the coaches and the referees. It was always that.
I think he's the kind of person that we want to induct in the Hall of Fame in the builder category, and I think he sets a high bar, and I think that high bar is what we want for those that have been builders. So congratulations to George. It's well deserved.
It means a lot to me to be inducted. I thank Scott Robinson and Bob Clark.